I think it's because it all generates back to when slavery, black men were made to breed. I think some of those traits haven't really disappeared in our black men. Even
Think
today.
about that, man. I think because everybody going steady, man. I mean, like, you think about Rocco, man. Think about how that song come on, man. You got everybody talking about something, you know what I'm saying? One night stands, two night stands. You know, everybody want to fucking have kids before they actually get married, you know what I'm saying? It's like the whole dynamics have changed. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you had, you know, somebody, you know, they court them, date them, marry them, get their house together, get their kids.
Maybe
Now that shit is all
back
back
to the family structure, and many times in the black community, the father is absent, and that could definitely have an impact on how children view relationships and how they interact with the opposite sex when they're in relationships. I don't know if that's necessarily just a black issue. I think that that's just an issue, period. I would say human nature does not necessarily allow us to always be monogamous. As humans, you know, we're a lot of times attracted to many different things, which makes us attracted to many different people, unfortunately. So sometimes monogamy
I
isn't.
don't know if I actually agree with that statement. My grandparents have been married for 50 years. My parents have been married for 35 years. I mean, longer, you know, just about as long as I've been alive. So I've seen a lot of relationships between black men and black women that are committed. Not so many in my generation. For example, though, my African American friends with whom I went to graduate school, a lot of their marriages have broken up, and I think it really has to do with the fact that as women, we have more opportunities. So if a relationship isn't working or you're feeling disrespected, you might leave. Whereas in the past, you know, our grandmothers or mothers might have chosen to stay. So perhaps it's the feminist movement.
I think it might have to do with a great deal of misunderstanding over the years and even centuries, coming all the way from slavery, is that it may be a little difficult for a black woman to see the black male as a real man because of that history. And it might be difficult for the black man to see the black woman as a loving, intimate creature because she has had to be very tough in order to exist in this society. Oftentimes she had to become the mother and the father of her children because black men had walked away.
I think that, you know, I usually talk about this a lot with a lot of my classes, mainly my Black Issues class, and I attempt to engage students in understanding relationships and the part that they play in relationships. And I believe that one of the conversations we had about black relationships is the fact that a lot of times we don't realize how much macro issues play a part in our relationships, mainly racism. How you doing? And the aspect of racism and how racism plays a part in our relationships. So, for example, us being a people who've come from a very rich legacy and have been colonized and brought to a native land, and a new culture is now imposed upon us, you know, we're struggling with that identity in our relationships. And when you look at the amount of stereotypes that are attached to being black and the negative stereotypes that's attached to it, and then we put a black man and a black woman, and how society has created these stereotypes around these two words, you can't sit back and think that we don't think about these issues, or these issues don't play a part when we engage with each other, how we see each other, how we treat each other. We've become removed from our spiritual essence, realizing and recognizing the importance of balance and harmony in our relationships. And we find that this tension manifests itself in relationships in very, very harmful ways. And this tension is what we constantly see. We see it in the media, and this also we see in just daily interactions, and we see it in the homes. So the problems in relationships, specifically our relationships, are widespread. But you know, really, it's really for us really looking at and really engaging in a serious conversation about, one, who we are as a people, who we are as individuals, and beginning to understand the other person as well?
Well, first of all, I want to say that, you know, we're kind of losing our morals and our ethics. You know, back in the day we had, like, our elders would teach our parents, you know, right from wrong. We really don't have that these days. Like, people are having kids at a younger age.